Hi everyone, Gina Craft, District Instructional Technology Coach. I wanted to look at today the Breakout Room extension that I know a lot of people are using right now. It is a great band-aid right now until Google releases those new updates that include breakout rooms that are already built within Google Meet. And so we're just going to kind of look at some of the features today. It's a very cool extension. It's going to take some time to set up, but once it's set up, I think it'll be really creative, and it'll be an awesome way to be able to allow your students to collaborate in smaller groups. So the first thing you're going to need is you're going to need the Google Meet Breakout Room extension. So you will be able to just add that using this blue button. It'll say add to Chrome. I already have mine, which is why my button says something a little bit different. But you can literally Google Meet Breakout Rooms, and then you'll be able to add that extension. Now I have that extension up here with the puzzle pieces. If you want it pinned, you're just going to click that little blue pin, and then it's going to come up here. It's a purple box with a B in it. I'm going to move myself over here. So what this is going to allow you to do is it's going to allow you to create your classes and then create breakout rooms for your classes. So the first thing we're going to look at is the settings. You're able to have all of these different settings. You could change like the colors. You could change the background, all of these different things, but there's a couple things I want to look at specifically. The first thing is that whenever you have your breakout rooms, you have the ability to choose if you want these all in their own separate windows or if you want them all on one window but different tabs. I would recommend having them in separate windows because then you can actually see all of the breakout rooms. If you have them all in one window, you'll have to toggle between tab to tab. So I'm going to have mine on separate windows, and I'm going to have mine maxed out at 5 tabs. And that's simply just because I only have one computer screen I'm working on. If you have multiple computer screens, you could very easily have way more breakout rooms if you wanted to. But I'm going to max mine out at 5 just because my screen is smaller and I want to be able to see everything at the same time. Down here at the bottom, you have the ability here to allow outside participants to automatically enter your room. I would not recommend this. I would keep this unchecked so that way you are able to have a little bit more control over that. You can also automatically join meets, the main room and the breakout room. You're going to have that ability. And this one down here is creating your static URL, so a URL that only usually works like once. You can make it dynamic, which means that it can be updated frequently if you choose to use a URL over using like a Google Meet nickname. So if that's something that you're interested in, you would click the main room and the breakout room because you would want that to be able to update constantly. Now you're going to go over to your courses, and this is where you're going to set up your courses. So for like middle school and high school, these are your classes. So this is your ELA, your block 1, block 2, block 3, your period 2 math, your period 3 math, your world history. These are your courses that you currently teach. In order to make one, you're just going to click this plus sign, and you're going to name your room. So I am going to name this instructional technology, and I'm just going to have the same description. If you wanted for some of your classes, you could put like math and then period 3, math and period 4, but I'm just going to use the same description that I have going on here. Okay. This you'll see automatically. You'll have my course and my own course. That's just by default. I've already created another one that I'm going to show you, and then we have this instructional technology one. And in order for that to save, we're going to click the blue save button. And then that's going to save our courses. Now we're going to go over to our rooms. This is where you're going to create those breakout rooms for each course. So in order to understand and to know how many of these you're going to need, you need to think about how many breakout sessions you would want to have. So for my MIT, we have like 32 members when everybody's able to attend. And these are specific committees that we already have that are doing passion projects. And so this was easier for me to be able to do because I knew that I had these 4 different passion projects here. Now remember, I only have 5 windows that are going to be open, and that includes my main window. So if you set that number to 5, you're not going to be able to see more than 5 of those screens, which means that you're going to have your main, which you're going to see here in a second. We'll have our main Google Meet, and then we're going to have our breakout rooms. So I actually have 4 breakout rooms here, which is probably a pretty good number for most classes based on the number of members that you have. If you want to create a new breakout room, you're going to, just like with the courses, you're going to click that plus sign. You're going to name it. So let's name this. Oh, actually, I want to go over to my instructional technology. We'll go over here. So I have my main room. I'm going to go to my plus sign. Let's name this. We're going to name this just by some people. And I'll do another one here. Now, again, these would be your rooms. So you could name this like breakout room 1, breakout room 2, or if you have like leveled groups, if you want to name it by leveled groups, you could do that. And this is where you're going to have to find the URL. So this is going to be what takes the most time, is setting up these breakout rooms for each of your courses. In order to find that new URL, I'm going to actually just open up a new window here. I made it already kind of small. And I'm going to go to Google Meet. And you can use either the URL, or if you are one that's been using nicknames, you can use a nickname as well. I'm just going to use the URL. And I'm going to grab that URL right here. I'm going to copy it, and then I'm going to paste it. And then I'm going to get out of that tab so I know. And I need to get a new Google Meet. So my main Meet, I have this code. And then for every other breakout room, I have to get another URL or another nickname. This is what takes the longest. So if you have 4 breakout sessions set up for your courses and you teach 6 courses, you're going to have to do this 24 times. So that is what takes the longest amount of time. Once you have them, you're good to go. I'm going to join and start a meeting. And then I'm going to get this one as well. Just copying and pasting. Okay. So I can see that each of these breakout rooms have their own unique Google Meet code. Okay. So again, you're going to have to do this for each of your courses and for each of your breakout rooms. I'm going to go ahead and save that. And then we can go over here to Meet. So this is where you would be actually being able to start your class. You can assign breakout rooms by a couple of different ways. You can add students specifically to breakout rooms. You could do a randomized sorting, and you could do it that way. Or a way that I like is you would also be able to have a list of your students if you already know like what groups you'd want them in, have them in like a Google Doc, and then you can simply copy and paste that list into the chat. And then students know which group that they're going into. There is no way of forcing a student to get into one of these breakout rooms. They have to go onto it and click accept. So we can't force them into a breakout room using this extension. That is not possible. When I'm ready to start my class, I'll click Start My Class. And I can see I have, here are my courses. So I have my Instructional Technology course, and I have my MIT course. I'm actually going to go ahead and do my MIT course. And I can see I have 4 breakout rooms here. So those were my 4 different rooms that I've created. I can choose to open just that main room. I can choose to open up the breakout or both. I'm going to choose both. And you can see here that it is popping up all of my Google Meets. And I'll be able to see up here in the tab what they are named as soon as it loads. So I'll be able to tell which room is which room. See, this one says Spearheading Community and Family Partnerships. So I know which breakout room belongs to each thing. So I'm able to have all of these different screens up at the same time. You're also able to use some of these different functions here. So I, on the main room, could put my camera on, and that's going to come on over here. I could unmute myself. So I would be able to then be participating in a breakout room, tell them, hey, I'm joining you for right now. We have this much time, whatever. You can also do that to all of the rooms. So you could turn on your camera for all of the rooms. So at the same time, all the students know that you are part of that. And then you could also unmute yourself on all of the rooms. I'm not going to do that because we'll probably get some feedback. But then you could be talking to all of them. Hey guys, you've got 2 minutes left, and then we're going to come all back together. So you really have a lot of these different functions that you're able to utilize to help you use the breakout room and give your students the opportunity to collaborate together. You also have the ability to look at your students once this loads up. You'll be able to see the students, which breakout room they're supposed to go to and which breakout room they're in. So it kind of also has that report as well, which is really awesome to have that. So this is a great function that you'll be able to use if you want to for breakout rooms. Again, it's an extension, and Google will be releasing something that's going to be built into Google Meet. But until then, this is a really great option if you would like to continue to use breakout rooms and giving that opportunity for students to collaborate in a new and different way.